All right, I'll give everyone a minute to come on in. Welcome, welcome. I have this very snowy sort of background. I thought it was like New Year's, Happy New Year's on it, but I guess I didn't do a very good job on that. Welcome, everyone. Welcome. I'll give everyone a minute. I know I'm running a few minutes behind. That is nothing new in the new year for me. Obviously, that was not a resolution for me, or if it was, I failed miserably at that. So, welcome in. I am going to, because inevitably somebody will call me, I'm going to make sure my phone is closed up here. All right. So, as we're all coming in, I want to welcome you all. Happy New Year. If you have not been to our manifestation New Year extravaganza, I'm calling everything extravaganza from right now because I love it. I think is this our third year, Karen, that
It
we've
is.
done this?
It is.
I love it. So
Me
for
too.
everyone out there, welcome. Marcy from PNS and Nina. And I have Karen Kurchyne, who you may have seen in past videos or come to our events. Karen is a business coach slash tarot card reader slash manifestation guru here in Rochester, New York. Did I leave anything out of the
No, you didn't. No, I think you got it covered.
who graciously comes, let's pass the past 3 years to help us set off the new year on the right foot for our business. So, Karen, thank you so much for joining us yet again. I so appreciate it.
You're welcome. I love being here, so I was excited to be back.
I love it. So, let's talk about for a minute before we get started into your manifestation meditation piece. What are we looking for? It's 2026, first of all, which is wild to me. Someone said this year went in a blink of an eye. And I say that every year they said to me, no, Marcy, this year would even quicker than years in the past, which I don't know if anybody else feels that way, but I certainly feel that way. What can we look forward to in 2026?
So I agree with you. And one of the things we talked about last year was a 9 year. So if you take the numbers of the year, put them together, it was a 9 year. That's the end of a cycle. And I think we flew through that end of that cycle really quickly.
Blue.
So that makes 2026 a 1 year, which is the beginning of a cycle. And I'm excited about that. There's many of us that are like, great, I'm glad to be done with that old cycle. Let's get on to the new one and see what's to come. In a 1 year, we want to really be looking at in this year, what are we creating for the next 9 years? So what are we creating for the next year, the next 2027 to come after that? What do we want to build upon? What do we want to begin? Think of when we were kids and we were getting ready to start a race. It was ready, set, go. We're in the ready stage. So we want to get ready. We want to get comfortable. We want to figure out what we want to focus on so that we're ready to start to grow that and take the actions on it. I think one of the great mantras that we could use this year is I'm leading towards my future with my heart, and I'm showing that with action. So we want to take actions, not just plan for what's to come. We want to make sure we're taking actions and steps forward on what to come as well.
All right. So action is a great word because I think sometimes so I'm going to say for me, I'll have a million great ideas and there's never enough time in the day, right? And then at the end of the year, I'm like, oh, I had all these great plans and they didn't come to fruition. So when we talk about action in the new year, are we talking about taking all those great big ideas and putting them into play? Or are we talking about being much more focused and methodical? And is it geared toward one thing? Is our focus more toward, the contract paper space or to the customer service space? Because sometimes the years really denote how how those ideas, right, should be relayed into action versus other years.
Absolutely. Great question. So we are focusing on that contract space. We want to get things beginning. We want to get things kind of to a certain extent, not quite nailed down, but pretty close to that. We want to know who our customers are going to be, start creating those contracts and putting the actions towards that. So when we talk about actions and this manifesting, what's important with manifesting is setting the goal that we want and then taking the baby steps that get there. If we try to take and get to the end goal too quickly, we're not going to get there. We're going to get frustrated and we're going to feel like that awful word failed. Instead, we want to really say, okay, what direction do I want the contracts in? How do I want to begin my business, this next stage of my business? What do I want it focused on? And then what steps am I going to take to start that process? So you really want to be moving forward.
So in this 9-year space, would you say that this is like the beginning of those plans? Like, are we looking to
100%.
implement ideas and then have them reach the goal by the end of the year? Or are we in this slow ascent to building blocks to where we want to get to?
Correct. Think of it this way. If I suddenly decided I want to lose X number of pounds, I'm not going to do that in a day. I'm going to do that over a certain period of time. So when I'm in my business, I want to start in this space and say, okay, let me assess where I am. That's part of the 1 year. Let's start in January. Let's assess where we're at, assess whether everything that we've worked towards to this point has worked for us, or we're going to let some things go. So part of our manifestation and meditation today is going to be kind of releasing some things in the very beginning of that and then setting the groundwork. It's similar to, I'll use another analogy. We don't plant a garden till we've cleared everything off the top of the garden and then we start planting the seeds. We're in the seed planting phase. We don't have the stuff coming out of the soil yet. We're not ready to cultivate it and water it too much. We're setting the seeds in 2026 for what we want to see in the next 9 years to grow.
I love that. So a slow roll. And I say that because some of us, I always say me, love that sort of immediate gratification, right? Like I want to start it today and I want to see in 12 months, hey, before I move to the next year, did I accomplish those goals? But like you said, sometimes it needs more time than that, right? Like there has to be more building to get to ultimately that place. And then you can look back and say, oh, that's amazing.
So
Now,
if you
I don't.
So let me say real quick, if you're like Marcy and me, who wants instant gratification, what you want to do is you want to figure out what your long-term goal is for, say, even the next 2 years, if you want to go shorter than 9 years, but what you want the long-term goal, and then set short-term goals. The short-term goals are going to be the cha-ching on the to-do list that you get to check off. It's going to be that gratification that you get of saying, all right, I've accomplished something. I've got this dopamine hit, and now I can move even further towards the big goal. So break down the big goal into smaller goals that give you that self-satisfaction of getting that complete as you're working and still taking the steps forward.
All right. So we're in the clearing space. We're clearing our space to plant the seeds for our long-term growth. What are we clearing from? Like, what should we not be focused on in this year? Are there things that we should, I don't want to say avoid necessarily, but are there things that we shouldn't spend a lot of our focus or attention on that are going to detract from our long-term goals?
Absolutely. Part of the reason we're going to start the meditation with clearing away some things is we don't want to focus on what we see as not having been completed before. If you didn't clear that garden before, okay, so what? Now we have it in front of us. We're focused on it. Now we're going to go ahead and clear it. We're not going to focus on how many times before we said we were going to do that, how many times we tried to do it and it failed and our minds failed. We're not going to focus on all of that. We're also not going to focus on what everybody else is doing in the competition is doing. So it's not important about looking outside and saying, well, that person has done this, this, and this, and I haven't yet. We're focused in a year one goal is what am I doing and where do I want to go? And what do I want to clear away so that I can then plant those seeds? Those short-term goals I talked about might be, all right, now you've determined where you want to plant them, what area you want it to be in. Then you've got to determine, are you clearing the ground by yourself or are you inviting some others to help you along with it? It's a step-by-step process, and that's the part that you really want to focus on is one step at a time.
So that's funny that you said that because some years focus more on community and collaboration and other years not so much. What is this year? Is this a year where we should be focused on collaborating with others?
Yeah, think of one as truly being an I. So one and I are pretty much the same way. Think of the 1 year as being an I. And as an I, we want to focus on what we need to start and what we need to begin, which, and I'm glad you asked that question, means don't one of the focuses we don't want to have is too much of what everybody else is also telling us we should be doing. If you have a mentor, that's a one-on-one. If you have a coach, a business coach, that's a one-on-one. That's different to me. But if you're getting into a group and you're asking everybody or every family member, every friend, and they're offering advice, that's going to take you away from what's at your core and your center and focus on what they want you to do, not what you want to do. So really bring it back to yourself and work one-on-one with a lot of people in this year where you do work with them.
I love that because I feel like last year was sort of a year, it ended on a year of distractions,
Good.
a lot of noise from a lot of people. And it's carried over, obviously, into the beginning of this year. And I wonder sometimes if that's not obviously what detracts us from what we're trying to get done at the end. But I think sometimes we don't view it as that, right? We look at it as information or content when really that's not what that is for us. And it
No.
might just be a matter of, shutting that information out or, taking a look at it and moving on from it quickly. But would you say that outside noise really seems to be much more proficient? I would say proliferate. Is that the word I'm looking for?
Uh,
You know the word I'm looking for.
yeah.
Yeah, it's a lot more out there than it used to be. Does it feel like that sort of is what's trying to derail us in our long-term goals?
100%. I think it's distracting us and it's causing us to focus on it. It's kind of the firework effect. You're paying attention to the firework over here and over here and over here and over here, and you're no longer noticing who's around you, where you're sitting, what's going on. Fireworks are an enjoyable time as long as you're the one that has set them. However, if we get so distracted by the noise and the true distractions that are going on, whether that's in your social media, your news groups, it's going to take you away from the focus of your goal. And I always think of January as being a bear time. What does a bear do? Generally speaking, they're mostly hibernating. So they're going, I'm taking care of me. It's time to take care of me. So in this 1 year, our 1 year is also as a totality a bit of a bear mode, which means I'm going to hibernate a little bit and shut off all that outward noise you were just talking about. Yep, I've got to pay attention to it in case there's a reason that I need to know that information, but I'm going to peek out of the cave every once in a while and then I'm going to go back in again. So don't get so caught up and allow it to get so loud because it's really loud. And you mentioned about it at the end of last year and it's loud at the beginning of this year as well. So we have to learn how to tame that noise, put in the energetic earplugs so that we can focus on what we really want to go to. Otherwise, we'll lose track of this 1 year and where we want to go, and we'll end up in a 2 year and we won't have done any of the work we needed to do to prep the garden.
I love it. That makes sense. So I'm going to ask one more thing and then we'll move into our manifestation meditation. But focus on us can be very difficult. In general, whether there's noise or not noise, sometimes it's a really hard thing to step back, not only in business, right, but in the personal space. And I guess I want to address this for a minute. As we working on our goals, long-term goals for business, what should we be looking at personally to help us with those goals, right, in this year one? Because it kind of all is intertwined, is it not?
Absolutely. I think one of the big questions to ask yourself is, do I enjoy doing this? Do I want to do this? Do I enjoy doing this? This means both for business and also personal, because it is so intertwined. And if you own your own business or you don't own your own business, it's intertwined. Do I enjoy doing this and do I want to do this? Those are two different things, right? Because one says, yep, I need an income, and the other says, I'm just not enjoying the income that I have coming in. So asking that question, and then based on the answer to that question, taking the steps forward from there. If you say, yes, I love doing this work, and yes, I want to do this work, then the next question is, how do I want it to change to manifest and continue to grow energetically and feel good? So that internally, when we come home at night or we stop our work at night, we're feeling good about ourselves, and it helps us to take care of ourselves even better. They're feeding one another. So looking towards that, and if you can say personally, I don't enjoy doing this work anymore, I want something different, then yourself is saying to me, saying to you, I need something different. I need new. I need change. I need to feel healthier in what I'm doing. And then all of a sudden you start to change overall. People will start saying, you're looking younger. You're looking like you're happier. What's going on? You got a glow about you, because they're picking up how you have taken control in some way of what you've been doing in the workspace that then is fitting your personal life. And the other part to the personal question is, sustaining yourself in a healthy way for this year. That is not just food and nutrition that we take in. That's a given. It's what are we doing that's sustaining our healthy mind? What are we doing that's sustaining our healthy energy on a day-to-day basis? What is it that I call your personal therapy? Counseling is with the licensed professional. Personal therapy may be gardening, playing with your dog. It may be doing artwork. What is the thing that you use to diffuse all of the negative energy that you take on throughout day to day, so that you have the energy in your personal life and in your business life as well? Make sure you're getting that too.
It's really about getting rid of those things that no longer serve us, right? And
Absolutely.
that's such a hard thing to do. Because sometimes you just don't know. Like you just said, right? Am I doing this because I need to pay my mortgage, or because I really truly love doing it? And sometimes the two are so wrapped up into one another that it's really hard to distinguish that. So that was a great tip to bring up, and something I know I need to work on better in the new year.
We
All
all do.
right. I'm super excited. I love my favorite part of these, but I don't love chit chatting. But I do love this whole manifestation meditation. Not enough coffee apparently today, Marcy.
I
But
feel
I'm
like,
gonna turn this right over to Karen.
okay. So what I wanted everyone to do is just take a moment in your space, wherever you're sitting, wherever you are today. Close your eyes for a minute. And the reason we close our eyes is to just turn off the visual triggers that can happen while we're focusing. I want you to take a big deep breath in and let it out as you need. And if you feel, take one or two more until you can kind of feel your body start to release. Your shoulders start to drop, your breathing start to slow. You can feel yourself really pulling inward and focusing on self, and focusing on being in the moment that we are in. And I want you to feel and visualize being very much in a safe, comfortable space for you. Wherever that is, if it's a place you know, great. If it's not, visualize a place that you've seen online or in a magazine or in, a fantasy image. Picture that place that feels very nurturing, very safe, very comfortable for you. And enjoy the moment of just feeling at ease and relaxed. Notice that next to you, there is a notebook, a journal, and something to write with. And part of that journal has writing on it. And it has all the information about where you've been in the last year and where you've been in the last 9 years. And part of it, you're happy to share with others. You're happy to show others what is written and what you have achieved. And part, you prefer to keep private. The parts that you find, glance through that notebook, that no longer feel like they're good or easy or comforting or encouraging or growth to you, pull those pieces out of that notebook and set them aside. If it's bound, tear them out. If it is a 3-ring binder, open it up and pull them out. But set those in a separate section. So look in the areas of your life in that notebook about you personally, how you feel about your health, how you feel about your business, how you feel about your friends and family space. and pull out the things that don't feel the best to you and set them aside. Notice as you pull a piece of paper out, that notebook no longer looks like something's been removed. It's like it never existed. And that if it's bound, it's still bound perfectly. That piece of paper and that knowledge has been easily removed and put to the side. And that's because it's always with you. But it doesn't have to be at the forefront of your thinking and of your sight when you pull out that notebook. You won't forget it. It's a part of who you are, but it's not the most important part of who you are. When you pulled it all out, you're going to also notice that near you, there is a lighter or a match. And safely, you're going to burn that pile. You may have a fireplace in front of you. You may just have a little fire pit. You'll notice there's a space that feels safe for you to burn that pile and release it. Let it go. As it dissolves into ashes, it is no longer an important thing for you to focus on. And you can say comfortably and safely, goodbye. Thank you for what you've taught me. I no longer need to focus on you. I bid you farewell. When you've done that, I want you to flip to the sections in that notebook that are blank, the ones that are unwritten. And pick up that item to write with and start writing down the things of how you want to feel when this year is done. So you're going to reach into your inner intuition and your inner psychic abilities and say, how do I want to feel in December? How do I want to feel about my business and my life? And how do I want to feel about how I see success or abundance and health in all aspects of my life when I get to the end of the year? This is the beginning of manifestation. Because when you know how you want to feel, now you can clear that ground and start to plant the seeds. And you want to determine what seeds, based on those feelings you want, that you want to plant. What is it that goes along with a feeling of feeling successful? Is there a new area you want to build your business and you want to plant a seed for that new area? Have you always worked in a larger scope, like working with businesses, and you want to work with individuals, or vice versa? What is it that you want to grow, or what area do you want to grow based on wanting to feel successful? Write those down. How do you want to feel personally about your business and about yourself when the year ends? And what seed do you want to create and plant based on wanting to have those feelings? If you want to feel calm, perhaps the seed you want to plant is a better way of managing your schedule. Or you want to hire an assistant. You want to work with a partner or a mentor. Perhaps there's some classes that you want to take that helps you to run your business easier. Write those down. if you want to feel as if your business is energetic and enjoyably fast moving or creative, what is the seed that you'll plant to have that feeling at the end of the year? Is that a space that you need a new class? Is that a space that you just want to learn a new technique to your business? You want to find a new avenue to investigate for your business that makes you personally, at the end of the day, feel really awesome and energetic. You'll plant that seed. As you write these things in the journal, on this paper in this journal are seeds, and they automatically create from your writing. So when you're done determining all the ways you want to feel, and you start to figure out what those seeds are, you will visualize placing those in the ground within the ashes that you just burned. Because those ashes are the fertilizer. Letting go and releasing what you did before fertilizes the seeds that grow this year. You created your own fertility and growth in life by letting those go. And now you can cultivate what's to come. The power is within you. It always has been. So continue to write in this journal. Allow the seeds to be created, and then plant those in the ashes that you let go. Your energy, your energetic sweat, and the work that you've done is the water that waters those seeds. So as you take the steps forward this year, and as you continue to cultivate that garden, you'll continue to see those seeds start to pop up. And it's going to take a little while. You will have patience as you enjoy the process of creating what you want to come. And when you have a moment, pause, place a hand on your chest by your heart. Fill your heart with a love of self, of all that you have come through in your life to this point today, and to this point this year, all that you have endured, succeeded, and faced, all that love. You then take that hand and place it on top of that ground in which you planted those seeds. Because you add your love of self to the love of what's going to be built for you in the years to come. This is where your happiness is created. This is where your contentness is created. And this is where stress and anxiety exit the building. You're creating your future with intent, with action, and with love. And so it is. And when you're ready, I'll ask you to just feel the space that you're sitting in, feel the floor beneath your feet, hear the sounds that are around you in your space that you're sitting. And when you're ready, open your eyes. And I welcome you back.
I love the idea of like ripping a piece of paper out and crunching it into a ball and then tossing it out. Like it's so satisfying, especially when it's, it's a tear out and it's got all little fringes and pieces of paper. I don't
Yes.
know why I love paper like that, but it's so tangible.
Yes.
So that the image for me was, I think, my favorite part of that was it really does make a difference when you put it in those terms of it's a physical thing now. It's not just something that was in my mind or, was an idea or a thought or something that happened. Like I physically ripped it up, tore it out. You could even do that, I guess, right? You could, and I might do that even, write it down on a piece of paper and really do crumple up that paper and throw it away. It's so gratifying. I love that.
100%. And I think the other part of that is handwriting things. So when you actually handwrite it, and I know a lot of people prefer to type or speak it into their phone, and there's nothing wrong with that, but handwriting something is placing a part of you into that. It's very tangible. And then being able to crumple it up and shred it or burn it and get rid of it, I think is such a visualization, and it's such a potent visualization to yourself of going, I'm done with this. I'm done with this. And
I
I'm
love
ready
it.
to move on.
So to wrap up for today, because I so appreciate your time, I want to be cognizant of everyone else's time out there. If there was like a word for the year, an idea for the year, something to focus on, what would that word or idea be?
It's funny. The first thing was a small phrase, and I'm doing it. That's what I really got. Is I'm doing it. Like whatever it is that you want to achieve, I'm doing it. Do it. Go and actually put it into action. But it is really that forward movement. So whatever way someone wants to speak to that, but really, I'm doing it. It's got to be a part of being personally involved in the manifestation of what's to come, that tangible action, because it doesn't just drop in our lap the way we always want it to. And so it's that, let's do it. I'm doing it. And by
We're
saying you own it.
we're all doing it.
Yep.
That's what I think. We're all going to do it this year. I'm really excited to see it.
I
Thank
agree.
you all for attending. I hope it's super helpful. And if you're watching this in the replay, I hope you're loving it. Karen, thank you so much for coming back again. I can't
You're
tell you how
welcome.
much I appreciate you taking time out of your day to do this. It really does set the tone for me for the whole year, kind of puts it in perspective as to what I need to work on. So thank you so much. I hope you all have an amazing new year, and we'll see you back in 2027.
100%. I thank you for having me. Happy New Year.
Thank you, everyone. Happy New Year.
Take care. Bye bye.
The